Stand to attention and all rise! Laura Peddle is about to start another one of their hecking long stream projects here. Welcome to the beginning of the Grace Ace Attorney Chronicles here. And the beginning of what I'm going to call my Ace Attorney chronology. It's finally time I dip my toes into this beloved courtroom simulator made by the people at Capcom, of course. Finally time I set my feet, dip my toes into them and do personal playthroughs of all the games myself. And I did say all the games because I promised, as a result of charity things all the way back when, that I would play the lot of them. Every single mainline one, but with a bit of a twist in what people normally do. Rather than going in release order, we're going to go in official Ace Attorney canon timeline order, which means we are kicking things off with the Great Ace Attorney series, the duology of games that take place in like Meiji, I think it's Meiji or Edo period, either one of those periods of Japan time, and like Victorian times if you like UK bound like myself, and I'm sorry if you are, but this is what we're going to do. So we're kicking things off with the playthrough of the two Great Ace Attorney games. We're going to do Adventures first, then move on to Resolve afterwards. And then down the timeline way, we have got our first of the Phoenix Wright original trilogies coming up. So we're going to do Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney 8, Ace Attorney 1, Ace Attorney 2, Justice for All, Ace Attorney 3, Trials and Tribulations. Move on then into Ace Attorney Investigations, the ones with Milesy Edgeworth. We're going to do Ace Investigations 1 and then Investigations 2. And then we'll do the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy, which does Ace Attorney 4, Ace Attorney 5 Dual Destinies, Ace Attorney 6 Spirit of Justice. We did mention as well that don't expect that we do the sort of the spin-off side game Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, unless I magically find the means and the methods of capturing playing said game. That's likely not to occur in this chronology series of mine. However, if it does turn up, who knows? Maybe I'll slot it in somewhere. But we are getting far ahead here, but before we start, thank you once again for helping us smash charity goals and unlocking this massive undertaking for me. If last year was Xenoblade, this year it's getting stuck into Ace Attorney as the big project of the year. Press any key to go. I can just click my mouse and that is fine. Select your adventure. As you can see here, we can pick the Ace Attorney Adventures or Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. But today, Great Ace Attorney Adventures is what we're going to do. Hit the new game button. The sound should be okay. I can definitely hear it myself, but do let me know if I do need to bump them up in any way here. I'm also going to do away with any in-game voices, unless they add to the experience, in which case people could let me know if they think that it would be good to add them here. Had to leave, but it's back for now, then it's fine. Teeny bit quiet. Hang on then, because I can do that by just my general, what is it, it's there. I don't know, that seems pretty loud for me, but I don't know, maybe it's just this music that's a bit softer timbrely. I'll do it a few more. I'll bring it to that, and that should be a little bit better. But of course, do let me know if you'd like the music adjusting just a tad as well. It could be that I'm just very loud over the top of it as well. But I'm just loud because I'm excited to start this. That's all it is, really. So... Is perfect. Is perfect, you say. Is brilliant. Is perfect. We're going to start Great Ace Attorney Adventures now. Why did I dip into that accent? Don't ask me why. Let's play a game, shall we start? Let's get into it, shall we? Here we go. Of course, cutscene times. Gonna take the mouse out of the way while we do this as well. The Empire of Japan, after opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation, brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. That it did, true, yes, all the Europeans came over. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some were swept away by the tide. Oh, yikes. Not everybody can keep up with the flow. God. Ah! The turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story. This little rascal. Do you think I should have had the narration over in that bit here? Because I could have added that. But we'll say it's fine. Episode 1, The Adventure of the Great Departure. Bienvenue au le carnaval. Of course. We will be trying to do our best with the thing here as well. Cool, if you're going to do that, then heck. Right. Let's just G the options there quickly. The only thing is, like, just audio settings here. Yeah, you don't let me actually, like, change the styles of them, like, the actual, like, sliders and such. Let's say, yeah, doing my best in there. But that should be okay. Right, I'm going to pop that on there, because I've probably got a bit of a surprise in store. Because I know how this game likes to do, like, actual, like, spoken word and sort of words in the minds of a character. So we're going to set ourselves up for doing that as well. I'm also just going to flick myself over to there for chat window. Oh, can I put it there? Is that going to work? I don't know if that's going to work. Let's put it to the place I normally put it there. That's fine. Let's just make sure. Right, we'll see how quickly that goes there. Okie dokie! 22nd of November, 8:43 AM. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber 5. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors of this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? If you had a chance to change your fate, would you? I'm gonna say as long as I can because I really want to, but I'm also not doing well. I might be living at some point. Palthea, your health is much more important. Please take care of yourself, whatever you're going through. If you need to take a break, if you need to sit down, lie down, go to sleep, take a nap, take some medication, please take care of yourself first, alright? Your health more important than silly old me, it's fine. Huh? What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer! Sorry. Things happened. My name is Yunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough! He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. You better look older than I do. Lawyer? Yes. And until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Speaking of medication, I got a new one yesterday. Baby's got her first inhaler. Oh, that's cool. Hopefully hopefully it works wonders for you. Hopefully it works out. Technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. Well, I have a sword. I could use that if I wanted to. This is Imperial Japan, after all. Don't test my patience. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Yunosuke? Oh, yeah, of course. Sorry. Ellipses, as we say. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, No, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not! You have to believe me! I didn't do it! I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Yunosuke. I like how it's got such an anime headband. Even in the room where probably there's no breeze coming through, the headband is doing the breeze thing. This man is a hero, you can tell, clearly. Kazuma Asugi, my best friend. Also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's still an undergraduate. No, it's not that impressive. You heard my inner thoughts then. I mean, I did sort of speak my... I spoke my thoughts out loud there. There wasn't any blue text that said that was my inner voice. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much. Yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yeah, that's when all this started. We'll be doing it as well for the any scene that's like flashbacky like this. Congratulations, Kazuma! It looks like you're gonna get to study abroad at last! I know! I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally! Those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you. I'm proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around this temple. Love how the game sort of like self-references itself there. Yeah, you've got the shonen aura around you here. You're the man with power behind you. Yes, we're gonna make mention of that. That's cool. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. But then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. We're gonna get riggedy wrecked out there. If only that were that simple, to get riggedy wrecked. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. His headband doesn't move, he must have gotten his wind within the last 3 days. It's just static there. You know how flashbacks just don't move? You like take a snapshot, and that's all that you see. Forever there. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Unsure who this is, so let's do neutral voice until we know. Asugi, may I have a word? I see, it's Old Man. It's Professor Old Man, okay. Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asugi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alrighty then, Yunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes. Thanks, Kazuma. She was very sincere and very Japanese about this whole affair, isn't she? Yeah. Remind me, are you a boy or a girl? Also, have you ever seen this creature? We call them Pokemon. Oh, jeez. Yeah. When did Burt Reynolds' cousin show up? Yeah, he's got that look, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of, he's still here. This is awkward. If I may... Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant. Yunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Yujin Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yumei University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. Yeah, I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. Huh? He promised wouldn't tell anybody! As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. What?! Going back to his nervousness, are we sure he's Phoenix's ancestor and not Apollo's? Oh, what are they if not two peas from a pod? What if it actually turns out that, all the way down the way, there was a split in the family tree, and actually, like, Yunosuke's, like, the two paths, like, diverge away from Yunosuke's node on the family tree, and then you get the right line, and then you get the justice line. What about there? Still definitely Phoenix. Still definitely Phoenix, though. I mean, they can both be as nervous as each other, can't they not? Ah, as I suspected. You were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand! Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. Now drink something. You're probably like running your mouth dry, aren't you not? And maybe loosen up a little bit. You look like you need a stretch too. Keep those feet upright. No, it's fine. I'll do it now, pal. Not a problem. I'll do my legs too. Woo! Roll the shoulders. Put the head side to side. Back to back. Oh, that felt good, actually. But thank you so much for that, Palthea. Much appreciated. Right, we're at the light. I'll be going now. Okay then, Palthea, you take care. Like I said, your health way more important than silly old me. Don't worry about it. We'll be here, continuing, hopefully, if you feel well enough to come back. I don't believe it. Ugh. But I didn't do it! I swear it! I'm not a murderer! I'm sure that's true. But nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? I'm Japanese. I've never heard that word before. You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so... try not to open my big mouth. As soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, You must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But I'm like 18! When am I getting married all of a sudden? This is like 100 years, this is like 100 plus years ago Japan, and then like marriage could have been like a thing that we did early in our lives, but seriously, I do? This is my trial, not a wedding! But what will that question be? Surely, not... Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not, you silly goose. Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. Ah, shoot. It would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Ominous. Of course, as a defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving! There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. Hey, I'm right here, you know. I hurt my feelings. This is it. If the trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. 'Twas a trial for the ages! My one and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny! Dun, da, 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 da. Why does that seriously sound like some... That does not sound like the, that doesn't sound like the person who takes the notes in the trial. I forget their name. Like typing away on the typewriter. That sounds like more like gunshots, seriously. Otherwise, there's very heavy keys on that typewriter. 22nd of November, 9 AM, Supreme Court of Judicature. Courtroom 2. So this is a courtroom. I'm gonna be here in many of these for so long! So long! Stenographer, thank you, that's the word, thank you. Yeah, there's some very heavy keys on that typewriter that the stenographer is using. The Supreme Court... Oh, that's Kazuma. It needs to be more calm if it's Kazuma. The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now, look at my bandana. Believe in the bandana. Soothe yourself by the bandana. You need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Third. Ah! Man! With funny hair and glasses. Man with funny beard and funny hat. Although that's his official garb, it's fine. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? Duh! I don't think we get the chance to perceive for a while yet. This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... Oh gosh. I need to answer quickly. What should I do? just like a wedding. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for his defense. Yes! I didn't realize I had a ring on me. That's cool. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that, that I, Yunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? You'll be what? What are you playing at, Yunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything, just now before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad will be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off? No, it's not that, really! It's just that... Well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes. I knew that's how you'd feel. Which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. That... Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel? Really? Objection! Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows the defendant's innocence is so apparent, he's confident he can speak for himself. Look at him. The twitching in his eyes is the mark of somebody who is just fixated on success. So laser-focused. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. Look at my sassy sword pose here. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court? You must have perpetrated the most heinous crime indeed. Got told that the symbol on his fan is one that they use as a mark of guilty in kanji. So that's a little bit of knowledge for you. I might be able to like sprinkle just tidbits of Japanese knowledge here and there. It's not gonna be perfect, and not even gonna be that frequent, honestly. But some things that I remember, I'll be sprinkling in there for you. We'll see. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes! Your Excellency! It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am! Ouchie being a pain, much like his offspring. We'll get to them, I am sure. So let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes! Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I care to remember. But... wait. Oh, I'm so nervous I can't even remember that! What was it again? Yunosuke, you need to learn how to play the game now. Let me guess, your mind's gone blank? Yeah, you know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court records. I can't even find that! It's simple. You can access the court's record with the press of A. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press for the court record? Alright, there's no time to lose. Okay, press This is a list of evidence you've collected. Now, try switching to people instead with You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press Z to go back. Then, the name was the Right Honorable John H. Wilson, age 47. The victim of this case was a visiting professor of medicine at UMay University from the British Empire. Did I do it right? So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Remember, just Now, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press to present. Try it now. Press him, and then go R. Yes! The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to UMay University 3 years ago. You are not a dumbo, then that's good. Which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. Not discounting all the allyships you had beforehand. It wasn't the British first, technically the Dutch. Technically, even before then, it was the Portuguese. So, yeah, we weren't the first, but okay. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together, after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil! You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial UMay University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education! Have you no honor? But I didn't do it! The case is coming under great scrutiny from all our allies on the other side of the world. The court here therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. We're gonna be scared of hurting the poor British Empire's feelings. Oh no! Not the British Empire's feelings! And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yeah, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman, and yep, they've got very low tolerances for shenanigans. Wet blankets, I've called them. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Yeah, good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. Well, we don't know that. I like to believe in my headcanon this is the beginning. This is the very first, like, Imperial Meiji era branch of Saizeriya. Saizeriya being a sort of family restaurant chain in Japan that specialize in Italian food. Famously very meh food in there. Borderlining in some cases on bad Italian food. So that's what they probably mean by Western restaurant. Like, this is the very first Saizeriya. The spag bol is just... Like, the noodles aren't really noodles. They're more like just, like, Play-Doh noodles that they made, and the wine is cheap, but it tastes like it's cheap, you know? Oh, dear. I'm gonna leave, actually, on this little screen here as our first little ad break, actually, so I can have a few moments to rest my voice, get some fluid in me, and do all that good stuff. I will be back for people in the live stream in a couple of minutes, so I'll be seeing you in a... Hey there! It's time to come back into this. Right, just gonna very quickly make tabs on the history, because I think we've missed a couple of lines. So I'm going to catch up with them while we're here. It's nice that they've got the history of all the conversations that you had all through that point there, so that's really nice to see. Right, but I need to catch up on this line, I think. The British Empire. Wow. It's incredible to think that... Wait. Suddenly I've been interrupted by something. What happened? Oh, I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's the visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still. I should go and say hello. I should go and be friendly, mingle with the common folk. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Third. And then back into here. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency! How did this Professor of Medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. Oh wait, this is my inner voice. The cause of death? Well, obviously that was... Yunosuke, remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now! Go on then. Not my collar pin, do not present my pin, that would be silly. The post-mortem report. We can... select space to examine it immediately. I'll go read all the pages. Victim, John H. Wilson, male British, time of death, 19th of November, shortly after 2 PM. Cause of death, single bullet fired at close range. Fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. No exit wound, bullet did not pass through the body. Right, and then hit present for the R button and go, ah! Yes! According to this document, this one, that one, and all of these, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile! That's the post-mortem report, I take it. Sorry, yeah, that's right. The, post-mortem reports. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see! As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. I'm not a straight-A student. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court records. Woohoo! So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Stop admiring the photo. Very well. I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better appraise the court with the facts of this case... The prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened.
Here goes nothing. This is it then.
I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes. Clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah!
Of course! Thank goodness!
Well, when he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asugi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Please, I'm begging you! Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderedness and control the cold sweats.
Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first! Can somebody
Can somebody close the window in here? It's giving my assistant too much aura. It's feeding his ego. Good, someone competent. Finally, yay. Ah! Right, we should... okay, right. So, I feel like I should get this out in the open now, actually. That, I would say at least a good portion of Case 1 of this game I have actually seen before and taken part in a group sort of playthrough of it. Actually headed up by my friend Ebat the Cat currently in the chat. Follow the man, he good. He a good bin. He does a good Silly Voice Saturday show. And years ago, we did a little one-off special into the Great Ace Attorney game here. And we did do, like, a portion of the beginning of Case 1. So, this stuff I have actually seen, not played first time, but I've been part of the group that have been, like, in the group playthrough of it. But that was years ago. I'll remember faces, I'll remember maybe certain characters' names as well, but, specifics I'll need to remind myself of. By the way, this symbol here I think is for the part of the name of the family, the Auchi family. So this is the A, or maybe the A of the Auchi. There. So yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter of a Western-style restaurant called Le Carnival, so not Zyzeria. Okay, fair enough then. Oh. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, I think that's meant to stay in your body. That's just my sort of general take on things. It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me.
Well, it really, really should. I'm pretty sure that rest stuff is meant to stay inside of you.
As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests, and full of hotels as well, if you catch my meaning. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. Hi! At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh,
Perspiring maybe, but aspiring?
You're gonna sell yourself short, really. It was just after 2 PM on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied.
That fits in with my memory for 2. There was hardly anyone else in that place.
It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried into the dining area to see what happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman slumped in his chair. And standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student. Yes! Hold on! Let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him! Objection! I believe that was his objection, so I remember that. I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections! The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur! But... The next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Inosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. But he's boring. They should be in a hospital. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see in court today? Yes, without question. I see. Isn't this a strange going-gidding? And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? Rather unsightly. No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh?
Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table?
What's the matter, Yunosuke? That's just not right. Will you calm your wind, Asogi? The aura is too powerful. This is only the start of the game. You're not meant to... I don't think whatever power rock you go through, this is too early for you to start it. This is too early in the day. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed.
I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? He's putting up his glasses in that pose that I'm sure is going to be famous in, like, years to come down the line. Because this is an aura of, like, coolness and such, but... I gotta interject.
Yes! Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table. Objection! Dear me, dear me. What are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Where is my fraud detection warning out here? Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? Well, technically no, I'm still a student, technically. But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it! I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please have a look if you'd like to. I'll just die in a corner, it's fine. Let me see. Ah, a sketch of the establishment's layout, drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it into the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once! Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Oh, Jesus Christ, he's hacking up now. Things have gone awry. Oh, dear.
I'll save the actor from having to do all that heavy coughing and just say, something certainly seems to have shaken him.
The waiter's business card has been entered into the court record. Yes, we're now reading this as Elmerford. Don't worry about it. Be very, very quiet. The head waiter's business card. A sketch of the West Once way out is on the back. Yeah, that's how we do it, Elmerford style. Yeah, I'm not coughing and splurting my guts out just to perform that character. It's fine. So, the court has now heard the précis of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Ah! Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? Come on, be my brains here. What do you mean? Well, say the answer for me, I don't know. I'm gonna be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to just plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You said it, Professor Mikotoba said it. So was the judge and prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. This is my discerning look. You're being a baby. Stop it. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face. Is that it? Oh, guilt tripping starting. That's how he's playing his game. What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Yunosuke. Ah! Ah! The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. I did not just say that. Oh! Asogi's wind reminds me of one of the travelers in Octopath 2, who also has dramatic wind that only impacts him. Of course, he is a Japanese-inspired one. Is he got like the same sort of bandana, the back sort of red bandana, or is it just like his I don't know, whatever garb he's got on that goes in the wind? Sounds fun. Indeed. Prosecutor Aochi, please continue with proceedings. Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. Oh, I was supposed to say, oh yeah, that would make sense, yeah. Probably like a Ronin style then, maybe. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. I can be your angel or your demon. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced. Forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses. Oh god, witnesses. This is probably going to be plural, if I remember correctly. Very well, officer. Bring forth the witnesses at once. Yeah, I think I have this right. This is plural, right? Ah, yes! These two. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Ha! Yes, sir! The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Yasunosa, reporting for duty, sir!
Myself I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rosute, a humble premises in the 2nd District. Curio Korekuta at your service.
Love their names. And there's here, yeah, the army man. Yes, sir. No, sir. And then the old man, the old collector person. Curio collector. Perfectly, perfectly done in Kana. Just, how fun. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing.
Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question.
They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned.
Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon, and not infrequently conversed with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business.
I can't understand a word that old man is saying.
But that's what makes him really good. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at Le Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets Le Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than the buyer.
Now you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct?
Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir! It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir!
This man's impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said.
Oh, and if I remember that correctly, what that is. So, this is a decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Maybe. Layton versus Ace Attorney actually has a notable influence on great Ace Attorney games, like having multiple witnesses at once. Also, the music is composed by one of the composers from PL versus AA. I can see that, yeah. The same group that I mentioned that we do certain Ace Attorney games with. We've done actually a full playthrough of Layton versus Phoenix Wright. And if I have it right, actually, Layton... Oh, notable incident. Oh, yeah, right, yeah, you said it that way around, yeah, so... I had to pass that correctly. I didn't know if you were saying that you meant that in the way that Layton came before Great Ace Attorney, but yes, it did. I had to pass that in my head for just a moment there, yeah. So yeah, I had actually been involved in the full playthrough of Layton and Phoenix Wright, so that game I kind of do know. And I saw that one having its like multiple witnesses at the stand, and you have to like cross-examine multiple people at the same time and pick out like people that are having reactions and such. So yeah. So that's how the things are going to be playing out here, I think. Anyway, I read that line. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start, from second one. Yeah, yes. Oh, was that his name? I completely forgot. They don't remember my name, or as I called him the first time, the actual Shrek. Oh, goodness me. Now the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Sir, yes, sir. Standing by, ready to report, sir.
Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. I'll just stand here on my motorized balance board. It's good for my legs, you see. I can't do as much exercise as I used to. Also, look at my ears. Look at the lobes of my ears. Look at them. They're massive. I have a name, Bluey. I'm glad that's a bit that stuck around from that one. That's a joke there. All right, it's testimony time. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. My sheriff I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the coward little weasel. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. There.
Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defender fired the weapon at the victim.
Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! That wicked university cadet, sir! The cruel and unforgivable enemy!
Oh god, he's got a knife! Put the knife away, man! Old man! You've only got one monocle! I don't trust you with just one... eyeglass over you that you can see through. I don't trust you with that.
What times we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day.
But this is ridiculous! I didn't shoot anyone! Yep, he has a knife. Oh god, he has a knife! I mean, it could be worse. He could have a gun. Is that really true, Yunosuke? Yeah! All I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor, and I realized that was a bad mistake when I did it. I realized that was my first mistake. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up... Bang. Wait, here's my Foley sound. Bang. That's my Foley sound for you. Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Yunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now!
As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It's time to bring this despicable student to justice.
Certainly. The testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial. Yes! Hi. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? I mean, the defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Huh?
Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic.
Huh? How did he know?
The prosecution objects! This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How could he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection! The defendant is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant.
Cosmer is so commanding. Oh, so help me. I think I'm getting a taste of the vapors.
Be still, my beating heart. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright. This is where the battle really begins, Yunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in the cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to cross-examine. You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? Just win the race. Just win the race. No, we're not doing that. Oh dear. You didn't fire the gun, which means what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yeah, but it's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. This is something that this series has done for the past 15 years at this point. Even though I'm playing this in chronological order, so this is technically the first year that we've ever done this. I don't know, make it make sense in your own head. I'm certainly not. Now, let's go, Yunosuke. Do not let them beat you. I forgot, he's like Death Slime at this point. It's just like, I forgot that. Alright then.
It's all or nothing. Ah, here goes.
Cross-examination. What the witnesses saw. You were ingesting a Regulation B stay for the wet restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. The precise moment to fire a round was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on an English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Oh. I thought I was going to go back through the testimony thing there. Maybe I should use the arrow keys at that point there. Anyway.
I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here.
Listen, Yunosuke. We know there are lies lurking in these statements. It's time to expose them. I understand that. The question is, how? Like I said before, the key to this is using evidence that you've collected. You can examine and present evidence while the witness is giving testimony by pressing Eh! Go through each witness statement and the details about each piece of evidence and compare all the facts. Somewhere in there, you'll find something that doesn't add up. In other words, an inconsistency. An inconsistency. Yes, that's what I said. Don't wear it out. When you find a statement and a piece of evidence that seem to contradict each other, present your evidence with "Arr!" and rip the witness apart. But don't literally, because then that would actually be murder that you actually commit. And I'm not liable for that. Just be careful, because if you assert a contradiction that has no basis, you'll be given a penalty. If you adult too many penalties, the defense's case will fall apart, and you'll receive a guilty verdict. So that's it. Peruse the evidence in the court record and find an inconsistency with the witness's statement. Alright, I'll give it a try. You can hear the witness's statement over and over again as many times as you like. So keep your head and be measured in your attack. Good luck, partner. I think the one that I've got to contradict here would be... Yeah, let's find out. Is it Deacon? Oh, okay, not the arrow keys. I'm gonna do it by WASD. Firearms started. Certainly enemy actions will arise. Black involving fired in the English and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. I think it's this one. Let me just check again into the E button. Present something. Present case record post-mortem reports. Or rather the photo itself, because if we have a space, look at it. Shot from the back. But the entry wound is in from the front. We can clearly see it. Wait, like that. Yeah, let's clearly see it there. Clearly see it there. Grainy as heck, because that's old photo style. And the case, the post-mortem report, the bullet did not pass through the victim's body. So there was no exit wound out of the back. Nothing marks at the back. So I think if we present this as the evidence to contradict this, we'll be fine. Yes! What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache? Inconsistency, sir! I mean, yes! There's a clear inconsistency here.
What nonsense! What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know?
Well, obviously, that,
I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth!
Come on, you silly mouth, don't be doing this to me.
I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom.
This is so frustrating.
Ha! Oh, please. Gotta do everything around here. Luckily, my aura is still with me. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Cosima, what?
What are you talking about?
It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense. But there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement.
What?
Sergeant, yes sir, no sir.
Yes, sir. What, sir?
The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly is a weasel.
Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed a crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
Yes! But no! That just can't be.
And why not, cadet?
Because... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Ah! Sergeant, according to your witness statements, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it?
Oh, down, baby, down.
What the... What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again.
Certainly. There is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa?
Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious Carnival steak, sir. What?
I'm being very loud in this playthrough, I've just realized. The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Iyasanosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all.
That's absurd!
I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom.
Yeah!
Wow. I'm successfully presented evidence during the first cross-examination. Achieve!
There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial. Just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about.
Ba-da-da-da-da, roll credits. Da-da-da-da. I don't know why I went to Ace Attorney Investigations music all of a sudden, but there we go. Yep. Damn, we'd said that. We did say that. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there. He was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back. Yes. Whoa, he said it. He said turnabout. Oh my god. But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either?
I said if I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure.
Treasure?
Indeed, the Hoyer Koban, my prize coin. On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habit to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop, Rasute.
Evil Troy, welcome to the stream, and welcome to the beginning of my Ace Attorney chronology. Welcome to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, where we're doing GAA 1 currently. Having just started it literally now. How are you doing, Troy? At this stage, and the stream finds you well. In the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you?
On that day, under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I proffered my Hoey treasure. Believe that he would purchase such a rare find? I did not, but I was presented with little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, there was no more. It simply vanished.
The Koban. Vanished?
Hunting around under the table I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there. And then it happened. Bing!
That's him doing his own Foley there. You heard the gunshot, you mean?
Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoey treasure. Nothing could distract me.
Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end?
No.
I see. And doing decent for my situation? Oh, you broke your finger. Oh, is that why it's sort of difficult to type? Oh, I'm so sorry, mate. Hopefully it's not a bad break or anything like that.
That lamentable day, that precious Hoey Koban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself.
Stop bickering in my courtroom, you two nannies. As I am sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British. No matter how much we want to lap up to their leggies, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. The break is extremely rare and needs to be operated on. Ah, that's a shame. That is absolutely a shame. Hopefully it's resolved soon. What is your position, Prosecutor Ouchi?
Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back.
Did you just throw a proverb at me? That can only mean bad things.
My witnesses have further testimony to make.
Explain what you mean.
Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? I didn't do it. What did I do to deserve this? I think he just doesn't like many people. I think that's probably what's going on here. Very well. The court invites its witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear?
As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency.
Yes, sir! At once, sir! Awaiting signal to testify, sir! Excuse me? There's someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative! The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir! Name, Aido! I don't know, sir. I don't know, sir. Oh, goodness me. It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. I do! Attention! Your father is about to quell the enemy! Watch and learn, my boy! Is that right, is it? More witness testimony. The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing!
Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black. That much I myself did see.
Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present.
Indeed, alone he was the Englishman, dining all by himself.
Therefore, no one other than the black uniform cadet could have defied the Englishman. Over and out! Ooh, okay. Ooh, okay. These testimonies are certainly... Yes! He's straightening him out. Wait! That's nonsense! The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all.
Please! Enough of these outbursts already!
But there was a woman! There was a young woman at this table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
Objection! If you call yourself a lawyer, then you would respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident, beyond all reasonable doubt, that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact.
Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, counsel?
Indeed, of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set.
Certainly. Based on the appearance of this print, would it be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else?
This doesn't make any sense.
The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. And thus it was. A bottle of carbonated water and a steak lunch can be seen on the victim's table. Crime scene photograph added to the court record. I don't understand.
What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman.
The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. That's not true! I saw her! I swear that I saw a woman with him! It's heck, I saw her! I saw her, I did! Oh, hi, Mark. Only. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt.
These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Taketsuchi Ouchi, would have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor.
Just dumb depression.
How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule.
Stand tall, Yunosuke. It's not over yet. Look at my aura, it's powerful. I mean to transfer some of it to you now. What? I mean, it's time to fusion! It's not. If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it. To draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick. Understood? I have a meeting at 5.
Rules can be so unbending at times.
I think half of Yunosuke's lines so far have just been or I think that's half of what this man is saying, unfortunately. Alright, cross-examine! Cross-examine them. If what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm decided to saw the same thing. Pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was that young man in black. That much I did see. A visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Alone, he was the Englishman dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniform cadet could have dispatched the Englishman over and out. I don't think I have anything currently to disprove that. There's not enough... I don't think the people have said enough just yet to present anything just as is. There we go then, it might be time to do some pressing! I don't know if I should press all of it or just like the one I want to do here. I think it's like this one that I want to try and improve, so I'm gonna press this. Yes! So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone.
That I did. Forgive me for the position I place you in. So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that a coinky-dink? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statement as well. As can clearly be seen, there is only a single beefsteak on the victim's table. A meal for one.
No! No! The antique steel of the sergeant and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. So that didn't give us anything conclusive just yet. Maybe I did need to go through all of them. What do you think, Yunosuke? Noises? What's the matter? I can't find anything! I can't find a clear discrepancy anywhere! Done for! I can't win this trial! No. Listen, the first thing to do is calm down. You can't expect witness statements to be full of holes every time. So just take your time and try to tease more information out of them first. What do you mean? You can choose to either press or present against each of the witness statements. If a witness is saying something you're suspicious about, press on it with With a little luck, you may get more details, which could prove to be crucial. Right, I see. The important point is, there's no sense in holding back. If anything even slightly jars you, press the witnesses on it, and press them hard. Alright, got it. I'll press them like blocks of tofu!
The professor wasn't alone in the restaurant, I'm sure of it. And one way or another, this cross-examination is gonna prove that I'm right. It's time to press them for all they're worth. My fate depends on it.
So yeah, just go through all of them and just press everything. Go on then. Here we go, press this one. Yes! No! It's not the same thing at all! For a start, I didn't fire that gun! We have a different opinion on that. The opinion of an uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. Yunosuke, calm down for God's sake! I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. Have what? Attention! Ah! The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment... I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman! I think that says it all, don't you? And let us not forget that the antique dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Korikata-san? We press Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time, but I've told you already that's because I picked it up off the floor.
Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you can explain it away.
I just finished drinking my coffee and was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at exactly that moment, bang. A gunshot rang in my ears.
Full of events beyond our control, life is.
Sorry? What do you mean?
In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the Koban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as well.
Nurse, I think he got out of bed too early.
Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner.
It's all circumstantial here. Right, I'm gonna need some more time to press all of these, and that's gonna fortunately have to be after we take another ad break, so we'll be seeing you in a couple of minutes. Alright, back in, we are ready. We have done 2 of the statements. Press them. We're gonna press number 3 for Mr. No Star. Yes! You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Objection! As you have been at pains to point out time and again. I feel like I'm growing a callus in my ear.
You don't have one already? It looks like you already have one already. Ah, that's a burn.
And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman.
If only there'd been more people dining there at the time, and someone else would have noticed her.
Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know! Of course the place was almost empty, it's what you expect. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone.
Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason.
There was?
This was found in the victim's jacket pocket.
What is that, Counsel?
It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant.
Hotel Clinic? Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th of November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident.
So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation could be more simple. The prosecution feels no need to submit this evidence before, and it really has no bearing on the case.
I wonder. What do you think, Yunosuke? Well, it's hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful.
Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report card to be submitted as evidence or not? F it, we ball!
Yes! If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency.
On what grounds?
The
The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection! Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues.
I beg your pardon?
You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request.
The young surfer these days are forever asserting their rights. It is a most disturbing trend.
This is a loaded statement nowadays. And a lot of people feel that. Oh dear. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Alright, we have one of these now. A medical report card from the Hotta Clinic that was found in the victim's pocket, added to the court record. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even though they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear ya.
You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witnesses' testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Karakata-san.
Ouchie's conservative confetti. He totally would be. He would, if he was Britain time, he definitely would be conservative. He would be a Tory. He definitely would be. Okay. I guess if we got evidence, we can have a look at evidence. Or is there another fact that, maybe there's still another fact that we gotta get pressing first. I haven't pressed every single thing here. No one other than the Black Uniform Cadet could have dispatched the Englishman over and out. Try pressing. Yes! Why aren't you telling the truth? What did you say, cadets?
As I clearly remember, there was a woman sitting across the table from the professor.
Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right!
Precisely! In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady.
But I...
If such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time.
There's nothing I can say to that.
But maybe my friend can. Or maybe he doesn't. That goes right in his forehead. It's weird there. Excellent work, Yunosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yeah, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yep. This is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones that you may examine. Press. Yes! That's the sound I made for that. It's going to be yes! And you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use up, right, down, left, up, down, left, right, left, right, BA start. Use those buttons to rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using WASD, you can move the reticule. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press miss to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. I need to use direction keys, WASD, and miss to inspect any areas for the evidence that looks suspicious. So here we are. Turn it around like so. And this is something that they made mention when they were doing the localization for this, I think, read upon here. Rather than turning the already Japanese text, making brand new textures that just have the English translations on them, you just slap it on in the subtitles anyway, so you can keep them in... So you can preserve the original and save on any memory that would take and all the man hours it would take to... one, translate what's on the card, and then make new textures that show the translation. I think that's pretty nice and cost-effective, really. This is required for every visit here. Yes. Have it for you when you go here. Name, Mr. John Wilson, Hota Clinic. Would that be Hota or would it be Horita? Must be a old reading of it. Yeah, Hota, that sounds like, yeah. Alright, apparently we can, space. Take a look at it. It says Hota Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics. Almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. Ugh. I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. Alright, give it a spin! Dentist! Hota Clinic, yeah, so, this seems rather important. It looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment. That's why... with a family doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine. Going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors, then? Why would you? Make you drink horrible-tasting medicine, they give you painful injections, and then they demand lots of money for you and for the privilege. All when you're at your lowest ebb. Again, way too soon. You sound like a model patient. With a bad case of stubbornness, no less. I wish you only cure is very bitter medicine indeed. Thoroughly examine the medical report card inside and out. I got the chief for that. Cool. And we can go... Does that turn it and go inside? Oh yeah! Let's take a look at the entries in detail. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah! And there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Jeez, I can't imagine. Yeah, I've heard of this anesthesia.
Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain.
You know, they talk about that. A little bit of a fun fact of mine. This side and this side of me, on my bottom jaw, there are actually 2 molars extracted there. I think, yeah, where the molars would normally be, because you get, like... Like, in between the molars, where your molars and your canines are, that's where, yeah, like a premolar, is it premolar that they call them? But, yeah, rather than right at the back of my mouth, like 1 or 2 teeth on the bottom there. You have a tooth that's missing genetically. Yeah, the, I think the thing with me that, we discovered quite a few years ago is that, all but a couple of my adult teeth, have actually popped out here. I think what they said is that it turned out that some of my baby teeth did not have any adult teeth growing behind them, and they were particularly the 2 sort of premolars, this side and this side, on my bottom jaw. So rather than having the baby teeth wear away and cause lots of problems later on in life, I had a procedure, well, 2 procedures, to take each one out. So yeah, there are 2... Down here, there are 2 gaps where teeth should be if I had adult teeth growing underneath in that area. So yeah, fun fact on that one. And they did kind of literally the same thing here. Rather than laughing gas it out, they did have a needle with like actual local anesthesia into the gums. Which is really fun. Like one time, I had this out of my mouth completely unusable for like the few hours afterwards, and then for the next procedure, this side was also unusable for the few hours after as the anesthesia wore off. It was kind of surreal actually trying to drink water either way, just like trying to get into your mouth and then it comes out of the mouth, one side of your mouth that you can't use, just like You have to be very careful drinking afterwards, yeah. So yeah, I think, yeah, people saying missing teeths. Missing... My case, I think it was that this premolar, this side, where there were no adult teeth ready to pop up in that area. I'd have carried the baby teeth there for all my life if I didn't take him out. And yeah, rather than leave them in there to wear away and, as I said, cause problems, massive complications later, get them out and sacrifice having teeth there. But just let the gum heal over itself and things are fine. Yeah, that was years ago by this point, yeah. I do also have another sort of little dentist story. I didn't go to anywhere to get it treated, really. I just, like, bore the brunt of it. But years and years and years ago, growing up in my neighborhood area, I was outside on my bicycle at some point, like in the height of summer. Other kids were out. I was riding my bicycle just up and down the lane. Other kids were doing water fight stuff, like using like squirt guns and water-filled balloons, like that kind of thing. Full on like summer water fight kind of thing. And I tried to fight my way. Well, not fight my way, but they were having the water fight as I was like riding up and down the lane, so I was like constantly going through them. And one time I was going through, had to kind of take like a bit of an evasive action from somebody about to throw a water balloon at my face. So took that evasive action, tumbled off the bike, and landed in such a way that my open mouth hit the floor, or hit the tarmac. And as a result, this one right at the front here, this incisor top here, there, and there's a chip. It's a little minor chip, but if you saw it up close, you would definitely see that the chip is there. And every now and then I can see, I can feel it with my tongue just now. I can feel it there. So yeah, fun dental stories, yay! And other than the usual sort of dental appointments that, you know, people should be keeping up with, honestly. Really should have taken better care of them, I think, when I was a kid. I like to think I like try and take care of my teeth a lot better than I did as I was growing up. Like, I very rarely took on any, like, sort of brushing your teeth before you went to bed advice I was growing up. I'm trying to do it a bit more now, so hopefully try and save off major issues. But, you know, if they happen, then I'm going to take that on the chin when I grow up as well, so... Pfft. Oh well. Alright. Anyway, let's get back to the game. We've talked about medical procedures for quite a while. There's a cautionary note for the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure, until the anesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. The medical report card's information has been updated in the court record. On the day of the murder, the victim went to undergo a dental treatment and has been prohibited from eating or drinking anything but water.
With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes.
So I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely! That's the crucial bit we had to wait for there. So, the precise moment the fire was discharged. Not that one. We were the only personnel present. Dining all by himself. But he was forbidden from eating because of a doctor's notice. Now to present and go. Yes! I think,
About what are you whittling, lad? Call yourself a lawyer?
I wish I could, but first and foremost here, I'm the accused.
Yunosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I can see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you knew exactly what it is you want to say. Ugh! Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright. And thanks for the advice. Breathe in very slowly. What I want to say is, beep you! Oh dear. Korekata-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim.
Ah, I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy?
Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up.
Objection! Dear me. Have you forgotten my word so soon, you amateur?
Sorry, what?
You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel!
But...
Let's see if I can explain it in words that you might understand with your gorilla brain. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may have not done before that time is completely irrelevant.
But that's... Remember, Ryosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. If you wanna say the F-bomb, just drop the F-bomb for God's sake. Just make your point already.
Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court have heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else beside this pale-faced pupil who could have possibly perpetrated the...
This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that?
That outburst half petrified me, boy! Of course I believe it! How could it possibly be relevant?
Perhaps because Hoda Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic.
A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me?
Oh, wait until you let the lay down on this. Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted.
What's this now?
And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating. Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat? So what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off.
What? No, that can't...
Korekata-san!
Oh, boy, what?
As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim could not have been eating anything at all.
No.
Additionally, there's more! Yeah. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Expertly done, partner.
Objection! What is this nonsense? You little upstart!
Let me just say. Music back in to say, yeah, it's good. It's really good.
These are baseless accusations! Just look at this photographic evidence! Look at this photograph! Every time I look at it, it makes me laugh! You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table!
Objection! Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic?
How dare you!
I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Yunosuke? Yeah, most definitely. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves only one very crucial conundrum. Who in fact was eating the pictured beefsteak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel? Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright. The answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it! Boo, Kaz, boo! Well, it looks like the turns have tabled. That's exactly what he's like. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been me! Yeah, not the two witnesses, not because there were other people, not the victim himself because it was forbidden, not me because I was having coffee, not the witnesses, they were at separate tables, so it's a mysterious third person. Ah! Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table.
Objection! You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person!
Yes! There was! Because I saw her! When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on this table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witnesses' testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will launch a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial. Relentlessly. And if not, then I will stab you with my sword. Kazuma!
Are you insane? You would take on the government?
Oh, don't worry, Counsel. I have no issue with you.
What do you mean?
I have issue with them! The two witnesses in the stand. What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing.
Complicit in murder?
Oh, they gone done it now. Hold it! Negative! There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders.
That's right. As the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they, told us. Oh. I made it a bathroom break.
What?
What did you just say, Kurekita-san?
No.
You were just following orders!
Hold on there.
Say you never saw the gentlewoman. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean... you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?!
An objection! What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair? Careful, this jade vase has another knife in it, and I will use it.
Just one simple slip of the tongue! Oh gosh, they're standing their ground. These are unruly witnesses. Order! Order! Council, explain what is going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth.
Absolutely not! The prosecution knows nothing of this.
Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut?
Well...
That's classified! So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't! This can't be happening! Yunosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Aochi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there's only a handful of possibilities.
It can only have been the government? Or the military? Or the police, I suppose.
Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit.
So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut.
Of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How could we possibly... Remember how we made progress before? Before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you, the penalty will be severe.
Please, wait, Your Excellency! I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I do nothing!
And what does the defense have to say about all this, Well, Your Excellency!
No time to think. I'm just gonna have to close my eyes and shout the first name that comes into my head.
Big breath. Big breath. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses is... Yeah. Well, say the victim himself, surely. This is the only person that seems to scream out at me here. Because I'm gonna think back then right at the start of this when he was evidence so our evidence of the restaurant diagram. He was very resistant to submitting that. It was only false because the court would have gone smack on his head if he didn't. So maybe he's the one. I think this. Yeah, this is the person who's been orchestrating this entire, like, don't say anything about this third person. Or this woman, this mysterious woman. I think it's gotta be this person. I am half-tempted by a confidence save, just to make sure. Bonk. I think it's probably a good idea that I do so, because I haven't actually done so. Into game number 1, please. Just in case our save doesn't save this for that. I'm confident in my tactics here, but always you're allowed to contingency save. You're allowed one. But I do think it was Hosonaga here. I believe it was you. Yes! Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonaga-san! Oh, Hosonaga-san! The waiter who took the stand earlier?
No objection! Poppycock!
Wow. Language, please, sir.
What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even the head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence.
For once, I would agree with you. If that is, the man truly were a waiter.
What? If he truly were...
Ah! Come on, Yunosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosonaga-san's real identity, as proven by this evidence. Ooh! We can examine the thing. We turn it around, because it said it was a business card. Chief is... Oh, slam dunk! Chief Inspector, waiter my butthole. Here we go. Yes! I'm not sure what this is supposed to prove, Counsel.
I think, Your Excellency, that what this proves is not the true nature of the waiter, but the true nature of the accused.
Oh, did I do it wrong?
Sorry? A blackguard who was due to presenting irrelevant evidence to incriminate an innocent man. That is the true nature of this rookie.
Oh, I had to actually like, examine the thing. Try again. Well, for all the evidence, we have one more time. There's something in there that proves that this waiter really is. I'm sure of it. Alright then. I'll try. I had to actually, yeah. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. It is this evidence, but we need to examine, like, actually what it has. And, make it truthfully. Right. Actually examine. There it is. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look. Do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yeah, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected. It's his job title. His job? Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If they're wielding it somehow here... Right, now that the thing is, now that the evidence is updated, we can do it. Updated evidence report! There you go. So we now prove that this says it is actually not the business card of a waiter, but the business card of some unscrupulous police person man. Now we can present it. The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question? I agree, it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency, that's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the front. Ha! Yeah! It's the front of the back of the card! That's where the telling detail is! Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession. His true profession. The waiter's profession, but that's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau.
What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before?
Why? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power. Absolute power as far as regular civilians are concerned. So witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you've seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well... Ah! Hold it! Inspector Hosonaga! I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. Ah, flashback time.
The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once! Of course. Here you are.
We're still thinking here.
Yeah, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card.
I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted while I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake.
So, you want me to say you really are a detective?
But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Ah! Of course! Your salary must be terrible! Sweet summer child Yunosuke. Sweet summer child Yunosuke. Like, he blurts out with some completely untrue, sort of up-in-the-air reason, and then immediately gets, like, swiped away or interrupted by the true person saying, like, the true answer. I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga. But you will elaborate on one point for the court. Hey! Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable! As I suspected. Yeah, clean yourself up, mate. Bang. I'm good at that Foley sounds, I swear. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once? It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was a killer? I think it will be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. There's collusion! Them English is up to something. I think that's what's up. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an English woman as the primary suspect,
Well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right! Everybody's ellipsing everywhere. Please don't drop all your ellipses, please. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain. And I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young English woman. What?! You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean... When I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The English woman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yume University's medical faculty.
What is happening here? Oh my goodness! Oh my Shinto!
I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. Hey! It must now be up to your excellency to decide how to deal with this situation.
Oh dear. How, you may say?
Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone.
Finally, they're seeing things my way. Everything's coming at Yunosuke. Woo!
However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point.
An objection! But your excellency, that would be missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send a telegraph report to Great Britain! Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions.
Calm yourself, Counsel. Please put a sock in it for once. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosanaga. Yes, sir. You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. Hey! At once, Your Excellency.
But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given by the police bureau.
As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So, it won't be a problem? Nothing will get in my way.
What is this whole deal with, I wonder?
The court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English students Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear?
Yes. Your Excellency!
That is a full 90-degree tilt bow if I ever saw one.
Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening.
And we are adjourned.
Yeah!
To be continued.
Now I gotta stop. Now I'm at the point that I've got to start, like, internally dialoguing with myself how long these, how long I intended these parts to be. Because I believe that, actually, where we've got to is not entirely a bad point to leave things off on. To be perfectly honest. And I think later down in my, like, streaming schedule time, we're going to plan to do, at least, like, possibly shift this game into, like, a more recurring
position in the weekly schedules. I might do this game like a few times, like more than just once during the week. This might be like a time where I do this game like 2 times a week in certain sort of special cases or something like that. Or maybe at the very least find some spare days in the week that we can do it, because I am due to start some spring vacation time quite soon, so that might free up some of my time to do this session in here in some other time. We're also dropping frames at this moment here. That's probably going to be the point where we say that's all. If the stream is sort of starting to be a miscreant with its dropping of the frames, if it continues doing that, let's just have a look. Because honestly, this point here is actually not a bad place to close things off on, really. So this is a case that we're not going to get done in entirely one sitting, but as a whet your appetite sort of thing here, I think this is a brilliant, brilliant stopping point here. So, shall we call it there? I think we should call it there. That was the beginning, the very exciting first part in my adventures with the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. And thus, the whole project of my Ace Attorney chronology has kicked off. It's gonna be a long one, but I am down for the adventures, so to speak. With that, join me for the continuation of the Great Departure case when we come back to this next time, shall we say. Let's get a teaser for where we end up afterwards. So we will be back. I've just had another thought, actually. I'll bring it... No. Here is where we're going to do it here. We can always get a... try and get a recap of what we've done here, but yeah. All the courtroom stuff done before, and then I think, yeah, this is a good time to stop. So, we continue Case 1 of Great Ace Attorney the next time we play this, whenever that may be. Hope you're ready and excited for that, and I'll see you there if possible. Until the next time we see each other, take care of yourselves. There we go, nice and short one there. And I think it might be a couple of things. Shush! Shush, I say! Hang on. Just press Option instead quickly, and back to title. Don't save. You haven't saved your game any process? Yeah, that's fine, because you'll